All right, everybody, let's get into multiplying today. Do you have your pen and paper ready? Here we go.
So today we are going to be jumping to multiplying polynomials. And we're going to go and use some of our previous knowledge to go and do this. So we're going to go multiply polynomials. This is like, I really like this lesson. Usually, yeah, usually I have hopefully some fun stuff that we can kind of look at, some little keywords, some tricks, and most kids seem to get it. So you got to remember a couple of things. So I'm going to go back down memory lane. You got to jump in that time machine and you go back. And I want you to remember how to distribute. That was a really fundamental thing that you should have learned. So what do I mean by that? So well, basically, I mean stuff like this. So if you had 7 bracket x, I don't know, minus 4, of how would you go and distribute that? So basically, you would have to go and take that number beside the bracket and multiply it by both things inside it. Don't forget that this negative sign is attached to that 4 there. So you would have gotten 7x minus 28. Depending on your math teacher, they may have started to introduce you to some kind of idea about like tables or algebra tiles or stuff like that. And you would have had your teacher kind of maybe set something like this up, possibly, if you're doing it by tables. So this is kind of like this row times is by the column. So 7 times x gave you 7x, and 7 times that negative 4 gave you negative 28. So depending on kind of what your teacher did, you might have saw something like that. You might have saw some algebra tiles as well. I've seen some teachers do things like that. But that's kind of the idea there. So that's what you got to remember. Today, what we're going to be doing is focusing on something called FOIL. And normally, if you had me as an actual teacher, and I was in front of you right now, I would probably be wearing a tinfoil hat. Because I like wearing a tinfoil hat, so I can't do that because, you know, I'm on the computer. So here's my tinfoil hat. There's a star, why not? Like a wizard. And here I am. Probably I'm angry. I don't know why. That's my tinfoil hat. And there we go. So FOIL. FOIL stands for first, outside. Inside. And last. So first, outside, inside, last. And that's kind of the thing that we're going to do today for multiplying polynomials. So let's just get right at it, shall we? Yes. So what am I talking about? Let's just jump to examples. So example. Boom. Let's have x plus 2. Let's start off nice and easy. X plus 2 times x plus 4. Sweet. So basically what you have to do, so why we use that FOIL thing? Well, because we have the firsts. So I'm going to circle some things and then don't circle in your notes. Just watch right now, okay? So we have our firsts. These are our firsts of our 2 binomials there, right? We have our outsides. These are our outsides. Notice how I circled the sign. We have our insides, those 2 things. And we have our lasts in each binomial. So we're going to go and multiply those. I'm going to use different colored arrows just because I can. So we're going to multiply our firsts together. So x times x is x squared. So you got to remember that. So you're going to have to go and remember. So remember, when you multiply exponents, so when you go x, and I'm going to write with the exponent, x times x, you're actually adding the exponents. So don't forget, like I'm actually adding them. Oops. 1 plus 1, which is 2. So you're actually doing that. So if you had something like x to the 3rd times x to the 4th, it's actually x to the 7th. Okay, so don't forget about that. Another little thing to remember. So I multiply first, x times x is x squared. That's cool. Let's go get a different green. Let's multiply our outsides, x times 4, which is 4x. Let's go and multiply our insides. 2 times x, 2x, and we're going to multiply our last, let's get this, our 2 times that positive 4, which is 8. We are now going to go and combine our like terms. So combine like terms. And you can see that our like terms, ours is 4x and this 2x because of the same variable and the same exponent. So our final answer, in a gold color, will be x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now, there are other teachers in the world, you knew that love to do this by like having tables. So why not show you the table version? Why not? Because we can. So here's the table version. Do I like the table version? Nah, it's okay. So you kind of put each term above it like that. It's kind of like, you know, I remember before I showed you, and then you're going to go and fill stuff in, right? So this is good to see how this kind of works though. So x times x, also called the area, I think it's called the area model as well. Here you get, and notice I'm always writing the signs in. That's like really important. And then you get this. Now, you see, you got the same thing in these, and you end up just combining your like terms, so you get the same answer. But sometimes teachers like to show this. Sometimes they use like algebra tiles as well, which actually is pretty cool. I actually like the algebra tiles better. But I'm not gonna go and draw a bunch of things. So just remember, like I think FOIL is usually the way to go for these. So I kind of wanted to show you that. And I also want to show you a binomial by a trinomial, because that's kind of fun. So a binomial times a trinomial. There's 2 ways to do this one. There's 2 ways. The biggest thing just to remember is that like all terms must multiply by each other. And I'll show you how I do it. But this might be a better way to do it. I think it might be. I'm going to show you my way anyways. Okay, so let's just go with my way for right now. So let's go 5x squared plus 4 times 2x squared plus 7x, take away 4. So we have our binomial and our trinomial, 2 terms and 3 terms. And the biggest thing I said, like everything has to multiply by each other. So like basically this 5x squared has to multiply by all 3 things, which I kind of like to do that way. And then this 4 has to multiply by everything. So you see my arrows, right? I think my arrows look pretty cool. Maybe when you start to go and combine like terms, it gets a little bit crazy, which is why you might not like this strategy, but it's good to see different strategies. So I'm going to go and multiply my stuff. So again, I'm going to add my exponents. So this is 10x to the 4th. If you're a kid, you're going to go wrong here. That's the only way you're going to go wrong. 5 times 2, you got that. X squared times x squared, it's going to be x to the 4th. I can see kids going wrong there. You have to add them. You're not multiplying them. And then we're going to keep going. So that's 35x to the 3rd, and take away 20x squared. Oh, that's really ugly. So minus 20x squared. And then you're going to do the 4. So you got 8x squared. Plus 28x. And then minus 16. You're going to go and combine your like terms. Let's get a nice happy yellow. A happy yellow to see what you combine. If you do it this way, I think you usually end up like towards the middle to seeing what you can combine. These have the same variable and the same exponent, so I'm going to combine them. And then the rest is all just straight up already in order. That's pretty cool. Let's get purple for my final answer. Nice happy violet color. And we'll talk about the answer in a second. So 10x to the fourth plus 35 x to the third. I'm going to combine these, so I'm going to get minus 12x squared and 28x and then minus 16. Teacher's going to ask you maybe how many terms are there. Terms are separated by plus and minus signs. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 terms. And if they asked you what is the leading coefficient, the LC, that would be 10. And they might ask you what the degree is. The degree is to the highest on the, how do I say it? On the highest term, the variable that has the highest exponent. There we go, I guess. So it's degree of 4. Okay. So there's some things in there and doing it that way. Now there was yeah, you know what? This is the best way to do it. Who am I kidding? This was the best way to do it. There is, oh, do you want to see? Okay, fine. I'll show you one more. Why not? Okay, let's say you had this. Let's say you had 6 x squared, take away 9, times 5 x squared, take away 4x, I don't know, take away 9? Nah, take away 2. Sure. Okay, so the other way to do it is kind of like classic grade 4, grade 4 multiplying. So I'm going to put my trinomial on top, like this. I put my binomial on the bottom. So here, I should have made this easier. 6x squared, and then I'm going to go like minus 9. And then you're going to go and you're multiplying, right? So you would go and multiply these together, like that. That was an ugly color. You can barely see that, can you? So if you go and you multiply this, so remember how like in grade school when you had like, I don't know, like 84 or 842 times 12. Do you remember that? And then you learned how to like multiply like this, and you do this, and then you'd go and multiply the next one, right, and get like this. Do you remember doing this? And this was math back in the day. Good times. And why am I even doing this question right now? Okay, so 10,104. Yay, good job. I passed grade 4 math. Anyways, you could do that with this. And notice that I'm doing the exact same thing, basically, that happened before. So I'm just going and doing what I did normally, except maybe some people actually like doing it this way. I don't know. And then take these and multiply by this. Maybe it's nostalgic. Maybe you're like, oh, this brings back memories. Who knows? Maybe. The big thing here to make this work really nicely is you want to, when you're doing the second row, you want to actually line up stuff so it's really nice and easy. So this minus 2 times 6x squared is going to give you minus 12x squared. So you want to go and find where the x squares are and line it up this way. Okay, so that's an advantage. So when you multiply these ones together, obviously you are going to get stuff that does not exist. So you would have to go is that minus 24x to the third? So then you can write it over there. So the idea is to get like I'm going to run out of space, aren't I? And then this one would be 30x to the fourth. I'm not going to be able to fit it, but I'm going to. There. And then when you go into adding all of this, it just automatically carries down, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the end product, so now we're just adding straight down. So I can see that being helpful. I don't like it. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of it. But you know what? There's different ways to do math, and my way is not always the best way. There, I said it. It's not, it's true. But I do know, I always try and show you what I have found after a cajillion years of teaching to be the best way that students like. It's not about me, it's about you. It's about you and your learning. So there is this way that you will see, look, it's already in decreasing order. That's pretty cool. Okay, that is pretty cool. That's another way to do it. So that is multiplying.
All you math Padawans, fantastic job using FOIL and all the powers of math. Until next time, have a great day.